those funky tunes real quick. So welcome to my first video. It's Bitcoin Banks. You guys know me as Banks on Twitter. A little bit about me. I was a buy-side portfolio manager for a huge bulge bracket bank managing multi-billion-dollar portfolio for over a decade. This is the first time I'm actually going to be talking for like a half an hour straight since I've had like a client meeting, so this is a little weird. For anyone who thinks streaming is easy, I would like to tell you that it is a lot harder than you think. This is not plug and play, and I'm just going to play around here and hope you enjoy the video. So, pretty much I just want to go into a little bit of market analysis. We'll talk about Bitcoin, where I think it's going, talk about some levels, talk about my trading system that we have going here. I'm really self-conscious about doing this video right now because I always hate hearing my voice back. My grandfather always said I had a voice for radio, but I guess this is the closest I'll get to it. But so just to give you a little, background of what's going on the screen right now. Over here, this is my Quant Tower setup. I call this my scalper helper over here. This is basically what I use for quick trades in and out. Down here, I know everyone's familiar with AgriTrade. I got my spot purchases here, futures, perps here, futures here, liquidations down here, CVD, blah, blah, blah. And this is my new baby here. I'll get into this in a second. I want to just go over Bitcoin really quickly and take a look at what's going on there and where I think we're going. I think it's going to be an interesting weekend. I don't think it's going to be one of those weekends where we just range and nothing happens. I think we get a move where you can get into position into. And so let's take a look at that. And then we'll come back to Bookmap. So basically, everyone knows we've been trading in a range for about 2 weeks now. That's nothing new. And, my thoughts right now are just looking at this structure. I really don't see us just pushing up from this structure. You take a look back at any of the other pullbacks. Down here we had the wick. Took us, weeks to months to correct this. And, same thing with the drop down to 42K up here from 58. These things take time to resolve. And, just thinking that we could just push back up here towards 60K, I think is really unlikely. So, I've been looking at the profile and, just watching the action over the past week or so. And to me, I think best, the most likely scenario is down. It could be just down to 42, but chances are when you look in the past, you're going to get that wick beyond this initial wick here. So me personally, if we do get down there, anywhere from 42 to 40, I think is a good place to get involved. But we've been seeing some buying demand come in, right at this 46, 45 area. And when I go over to Bookmap, we can look at the actual orders that are outstanding, people looking to get filled, and it's basically from 45 down, the book is stacked. Looking at technicals, obviously, we're in this range. These are my ranges right here. I am, we could stay in this range for a lot longer than people think. But I really want to see some of this wick get filled in before I get really confident about getting long with some leverage. So this is my first time doing this. I'm going to be all over the place, but just going to try to give you guys some insights into how I trade and how I look at the market every day, and different factors that come into account when I put on a trade. So I guess
trade BTC sell $31.06.
I gotta turn that off. So sorry here. This is not gonna be polished, but there will be no editing. This is me 100%, and I just gotta turn that off really quick.
Trade BTC.
All right, we should be good now. Okay. So, I guess I'll just dive right into Bookmap, because this is kind of revolutionized the way I've traded. Before I relied a lot more on the footprint chart and, using that for my entries. But when you have the actual spot data and this is from Bitstamp, Binance, FTX, Coinbase, and Kraken. This program is amazing. Like, it's hands down like the best trading program that I've used thus far. Forewarning, it is super memory intensive, and if you're even thinking about using this, I would have at least 16 gigabytes of RAM on my computer, or you're not going to get your trades filled. So just taking a look at this, I guess, high time frame. So what this does is it keeps up to 2 days of the depth of all of these spot exchange markets. So after 2 days, it just fills it in with the new information. But it's so helpful in terms of seeing the actual orders and seeing price move, and seeing if it's moved based on volume or if it's just moving on low volume, because you want to see a strong move with high volume in the direction of where you're going, right? So you can see here, this is the last couple of days. So this is up to 47. So like I said, super memory intensive, and now that I'm recording this video, it's even slower. But you can see up here, this is 49K. So the huge move on huge big buy volume up to the highs, got stuck up there, pushed back, and sell volume at the top, back below this 49 area. So I took that short, but I ended up getting out and tried to long somewhere down here around 48 and scalped that. That didn't go. So obviously we ended up dropping all the way down here, but it just paints such a clear picture of like what's going on in the market behind the scenes. Spot, which is where you should be focused, because obviously the perp price may diverge from spot, but spot is what the price is going to come back to regardless. So, and usually what I find using this is that when I get into a trade using this data, it's more spot based trades that seem to carry further than a pump on just FTX or Binance or whatever. So great because not only can you see what's going on in the market currently, but you can take a look at other areas where the market isn't currently, where buyers and sellers have orders stacked up. So this is what I wanted earlier. I spoke about this. It's coming down into this 45K area, and we got close. The level got front ran, and then we bounced back up. My thoughts are over the weekend, this liquidity gets tapped somewhere in here. At least it's 45. Maybe not down to the extremes. But we will get there eventually. I'm 100% certain of it. It's just a matter of time. So, we came into here, and I'll zoom in so you can see better exactly what happened, where I took my long. So, one of the great things about Bookmap is, and also there's this thing here called the Liquidity Tracker, which is awesome because, and it's down here. So what it does is it basically gives you the differential in the liquidity, based on where you are. So if you get into an area of high buy liquidity, the number gets very high. If you get into a level of high sell liquidity, it gets very negative, and you should probably close your position. So, so this is the trade earlier. I'm just trying to zoom in on this. So we could see exactly what happened. So one thing I noticed when I was doing practice streams is that when I'm like nervous or something, I like touch my face and my beard and my mustache. I'm trying not to do that right now. But so if you take a look here, this was the drop earlier. Huge buys, huge sells coming into areas of liquidity. So, huge sells down here, retrace, soaked up some more liquidity down here. And basically what I look for in my entry is I want to see the price retrace without one of these big red, sell volume bubbles. So here, price retraced, came back to a level which I had marked out previously, and that was the long. And I ended up taking most of my profits around 47.4, and then I got stopped out of the rest when we came back under the VWAP. I'll get back in. Like I said, I think we have plenty of time to get in a position. So that's Bookmap. This thing is so useful. And another thing that you can also do is, so this is the spot book. I use the spot book because this is like the most comprehensive, order book that you can look at that encompasses multiple exchanges. I was speaking with Ryan. I think they're gonna get Bitfinex added to this, so that'll make it even better. But you can look at individual coins on your own exchange. So This is FTX BTC perp. But as you can see here, the difference is the exchanges are not required to provide the whole depth of market. And if you take a look at this here, you can see it's not as helpful when you zoom out. You can't really see levels based on this. It's kind of a bunch of nonsense. But you can use it. The good thing that you can use this for is executing trades. So here, if I wanted to execute a trade, I just click right here on the bid. Boom. It enters my bid, my sell order. Same thing. And we have the call order book from FTX here. And the awesome thing also is this thing has built-in like add-ons. So basically, if you enter a bid order, there's different strategies that it can use to execute the bid order. So escape. So if you see like an area of liquidity where you want to get involved, use this escape. And if the buy side is not heavier than the sell side, it will move your order back. That's been really useful. I've found that very useful. Execute and chase. I never use chase because I usually get good entries on my trades, and I don't chase. Chase is not in my vocabulary. So this is Bookmap. Again, amazing tool. I like live and die by it right now. Like my accuracy on the calls I've been making have gone up substantially since using this thing. It works wonders. So that's Bookmap, and I kind of want to go over this screen really quick because, as I said before, this is my scalper helper. So this is Quant Tower, and it is fantastic. I love it, but ever since I started using Bookmap, I don't really use it as much. But the amazing thing about this platform is they have this thing called Power Trades. So Power Trades is basically, it finds levels of imbalance. So if you look at all these little dots here, these are purchases or buys or sells of Bitcoin of more than 100 BTC in less than 3 seconds. So you can see here on the drop, 400 Bitcoin, 500 Bitcoin, another 160, another 120, 300. So when you start to see these stacking up on a drop, it's a matter of time before price reverses. So this was super helpful using this in conjunction with Bookmap to get into my entry. You can see here, imbalance is all the way down, power trades all the way down, broke below this point of control. The market profile is super helpful on the daily time frame, but when it comes to scalping, I find it helpful in terms of deciding if I want to take the scalp or not. So when we came down here, you could see all the volume was right here. This is a point of control. Each one of these is 1 hour. So you can see right here, fell below this point of control. On this next hour, boom, huge imbalances at the bottom. Back above this point of control, above my MAs, sweet trade. So this comes in handy a lot. So, the footprint chart is great, but it involves, a lot of dedicated focus to watching that one thing, and there's so many things going on at once, and I've just consolidated everything into these two things that I use for trading, basically. In addition to that, I have my this is my little scalping trading view down here. So this is a 1 minute chart, just to show you, some of the type of trades you could get into. So everyone knows, everyone's seen these bands before. So these are called Cuban's reversion bands. It's kind of like a smarter Bollinger Band, and super helpful when it comes to, are things getting away from the mean, and are they going to revert? So, just to give you an example, this is the drop here, right? It came down, retraced, boom, in silicose levels, gave me a support level to use down here, and retraced, long. Same thing up here, got into the top band, so we're getting away from the mean, things are getting heavy, and silicose levels down, and that would have been a lovely short. Could have got in right here too. So that's just kind of some of the tools I use, kind of give you a little background of what is going through my head when I'm making trades, and I'm not shit posting and putting up real legitimate useful calls. So yeah, I guess that's Bookmap pretty much. If you guys got any questions, please reach out. There's a free version of this that is, you can execute, you can do pretty much everything, except you don't get access to this, what they call the multi-book. So this is the multi-book. $20 a month gives you access, but even with the free access, you can still trade. You can hook your API up and trade from that. But this thing is awesome. I highly suggest you try it. So some other things I want to take a look at. Just taking a look at funding rates, liquidations. So open interest isn't as bad as it was down here in this. We dropped in the 40K area, but these are just some of the reasons why I feel like we need to go lower before higher. If you look back here, you got some negative rates, and then you kind of had this extended period of negative rates here. That's the best time to long, in my opinion. Here we got a day or two, but if we flush here, kind of take out this wick, fill this in, we're going to have negative rates down here. It's not going to, be for a day or two. It kind of gives you time. If you look back here when we dropped to 40, you had time to build up a position, and then it was just up only. Same thing was same situation was at 29K. This type of flush recovery just doesn't happen. And if you look at any of the big liquidations, like if you look here, it's usually followed by another one, and I think we're due for that. I think it's coming. So that's Bitcoin. Huge increase in futures. I think a lot of people are buying like end of the year calls or puts, getting those in today. What else did I want to take a look at? So, just looking at the market profile in general, you know, obviously we've retraced down here, and we're back in this area, kind of filling in down here. 47K is a strong level. It was a level today. It was the POC today. POC back here. Pretty sure it's the point of control for the week. But I mean, this doesn't really say much. Volume moving down, point of control moving down. This isn't really bullish here. And take a look at the weekly. This looks even uglier because you just have this down here, and I think that some of this volume moves into this area, and that's what I'm looking for right now. If we push to the top of the range, 52K, I think anywhere from 53 down to 52, like if we shoot back into that area from here, that's a fade. I'm gonna fade that. I'm gonna fade 53 because that's Ryan blowing me up. If you look here, the bottom of this structure, this 52 to this 54 area, that's going to be huge resistance if we get back up there. So that I would look to fade if we come up there from here. I think that would be a great trade. But for now I'm thinking lower before higher, but we shall see. I want to take a look at, so my two favorite alts are to trade, that is, and to hold, I guess, are Solana and AVAX currently. Now, you take a look at some of these, and yeah, you get some nice bounces, right? Like from 150 up to here, that's an amazing trade. But my thing with alts right now is, if Bitcoin does come back down to the lows, these alts have come up so far, so fast, and if we were to get to those lows, you got maybe Solana at 140, 120, below 115, doomsday, Goblin Town. But when Bitcoin does get to those extremes, that's when you uber long alts, I think, at this point. Who's to say if the bull market is over and we're already in bear territory? But these alts, just long in these alts as Bitcoin hits serious support, like on a retrace, that is an amazing trade. But at the end of the day, when the jig is up, fading these are gonna be the most profitable trades ever. Not there yet, and Solana and AVAX are just the strongest alts on any little pullback of Bitcoin. These things go, and I've been buying spot. Not really futures. You don't really need to leverage those trades, but that's what I'll be looking for if we get back down to that 42 area. AVAX is just a stud. But it's like support at 75, 50. It's like you don't even want to imagine this going from $111 to $50, but that is quite possible if Bitcoin shits the bed. I'll go more of an alts, like if this isn't the worst video that you've ever watched and you want to hop on a stream with me one day, if I haven't embarrassed myself already. But yeah, another thing I wanted to bring up, this guy, I've been talking a lot about this basis that I got into. This coin, I talked about it. You see me talking about it. I own a bunch of it. If I'm talking about it, I believe in it. No pump and dumps over here. But if you could look at it, I mean, it's the couple, the week that it's been trading, it looks very nice. Initially coming down to like the IDO price, did a 2x, found support right here around 12, held 12, got back up to this 2x area, hit this 12 again. 12 seems to be strong support here. And Bitcoin is dumping. But yeah, this is a long-term hold for me. Pretty much took out a lot of my initial investment, but do some research, find out about the basis trade engine. It's only trading on Radium right now, so you have to do a swap on your DEX. Phantom Wallet is the best to use for this, but definitely worth a look, in my opinion. So, anything else I want to cover today? Yeah, I think we're good. For my first video. I'm gonna call that a wrap. I'm gonna leave on a good note before I fuck up. Thanks for watching this, and I appreciate all of you guys for checking out my stuff. This is hard work, and I really appreciate you guys appreciating the work. And I hope I've made you guys a couple of bucks over this year. So not sure if I'm gonna do the whole streaming thing. I'm kind of getting comfortable with it. I feel like I could do it. I feel like this is something that I could get used to. And I like to interact with you guys and have you guys ask me questions, and we could talk about what's the next shitcoin to pump or whatever you guys want to talk about. But I hope this video was helpful, kind of for you guys getting to know me and learn about my thought process when I'm trading and what I'm looking at. And yeah, I think that's it. I'm gonna sign out. Hope everybody has good weekend plans. Do something fun, get outside. I'll probably be looking for my bids to get filled at like 42 and sitting on this computer all weekend. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Peace.